My name is Yusuf Asanti Yakubu, and in today's video we're going to talk about market cycles. Right now, there is this narrative out there that whenever retail investors go into investment or join the investment vehicle, they end up losing money. So sometimes you ask yourself, why? Why is it that the big guys, the institutional investors, they make a lot of money from investing in the stock market, but the individual investors, aka retail investors, they always lose money? So if you're losing money in stocks or cryptos, I think this video is for you. This is a very important topic. You need to pay attention and you need to listen, and then you put them into practicals. What we call market cycles. In everyday economy, wherever you're coming from, we have a good time and then we have the bad time. So sometimes when you go to the market, like things prices are down, right? Sometimes too you go to the market and prices are skyrocketing, right? And then these higher prices can be in the system for a period of time. One day you go to the market, you realize, things prices, goods and services prices are start coming down. This is what we call economic cycle. So there are good times, there are bad times. So now, the good time is what we call, let's say, growth cycle or expansion cycle. And then the bad time, we can say these are the period of what? Uncertainty and frustration. That is the contraction cycle or the recession cycle. The recycle phase. Right? Okay. So before you understand market cycles, first let's touch on business cycle. So I have this picture over here. The green line represents market cycle, and then the red line represents business cycle or economic cycle. So in business cycle or market cycle, we have four phases in every cycle. So in business cycle, we have what we call expansion phase. We have what we call peak phase. We have what we call contraction phase, and also the trough or bottom phase. Now let's touch on the different phases and the economic activities within these phases. Right? Okay, so let's start from here. We are using the red line, the expansion phases. What happened during this phase? Okay, so in every economy, you will get to know that the consumer sentiment is very strong, right? Because you will realize that the consumer sentiment is people are very optimistic about the economy. Why? One, the cost of borrowing is very cheap, so people borrow from financial institutions and then invest in stocks market. Because the economy is doing good, stocks also tends to go higher, so people make a lot of money from their investments. All right, the government can also ginger the economy by putting more money in the economy. Right? Okay, unemployment keeps going high. People are getting employed and then they're getting paid. So everything feels good within the expansion phase. And now GDP numbers, inflation is low, interest rate is low. interest rate is very low, right? So everything seems good. You feel like, hey, you doing well. But remember, it is the economy that is making you doing well, right? Okay, so when things get overheated, and then when things get overheated, and then the government plans to switch the economy or take the one phase to another phase, what happened? They will try to increase interest rates, because during this time, during the expansion phase, people keep spending, so definitely demand is very high, and then the economy is overheated. Yeah, so they will put down some measures to cool down the economy. And then here we are, the peak phase, right? Okay, so when the peak phase, there are a lot of things happening within that period of time, and then there's another phase, recession, the contraction phase, or this is where you see a recession. Things are really getting bad in the economy. People start complaining a lot of things. Yeah, so whatever that you were enjoying during the expansion phase, now you are not getting it, right? Okay, and then later you have what we call trough phase, that is the bottom. Okay, so remember, the good times, whenever the economy is doing good, always remember that, okay, we are in expansion phase. When things get overheated, remember the peak. When things start getting worse, remember the contraction phase or recession phase. This is the red line over here, and then finally the bottom here. Okay, so now let's take the same concept into stock market or financial market. Now, the stock market or the financial market also has different cycle. Let's say 4 types of cycle. So that is the green line. So on the market cycle, we have what we call accumulation phase. We have what we call markup phase. We have distribution phase, and then we have markdown phase over here. Okay, so now the growth of your investment depends on the cycle, or sorry, the phase you buy your stock. Yeah, the growth of your investment. Either your investment is going to grow or you're going to lose money, depends the cycle in which you buy your stock. Now, one thing you should also understand is that stock market is a forward looking. It means they price in before the economy reverses. So let's say when the economy is in recession, that's the contraction side phase, stocks is going to turn around towards upwards before the economy bottom. Sometimes 6 months, sometimes 1 year before the economy bottom. So remember, for past 1 year, stock has been going up, but the economy is not yet bottom, right? So what will be the news out there? Because the financial media is going to report on the economy, not the stock market. Oh, the economy is not doing well. The financial media, the politicians, all of them, economic analysts, they're going to comment on the economy, not the stock market, right? Because they feel like this stock going up is going to fall again because the economy is not doing good. That is the big mistake that retail traders put themselves in. So now you have to study market cycle and always remember that the market is a forward looking. So what investors do is that they buy the future cash flow of the underlying business. right? So they buy the future earnings, they buy future revenue, they buy futures margin, the future interest rate, and then the future inflation. They don't buy because of what is happening now.